ready to pair.
All right. I know this is something that we don't normally cover here on the channel, but sometimes when cool items pop into our radar, we just get super excited to share our experience and first impressions with you guys. So without any further ado, meet the Gravastar Mars Pro. Now this is a Bluetooth speaker. That's right, a Bluetooth speaker, not a robot, although that's a question that I've been getting a lot here at the office. And as you can probably tell, it looks like it's gonna conquer our planet. Now, I can't emphasize how excited I am to talk about this masterpiece, some of the cool elements that come with this package, the history behind the company, and most importantly, sound quality, because that's the most important because it's a Bluetooth speaker. So let's get to that after a quick word from today's video's sponsor.
The Deepcool AK620 CPU cooler is a dual-tower heatsink with 6 copper heat pipes and an attractive fin array to deliver competitive cooling performance while looking awesome. It's surprisingly quiet at full load, installation is hassle-free, and RAM clearance is flexible if you move the fan. Check out the AK620 down below.
So the story behind Gravastar is really interesting. It all began with a series of sketches and a team that consisted of engineers, designers, cartoonists, musicians, and gamers. They went completely against the market's popular designs and created something out of the ordinary. Their first product, which was the Mars, was launched on Indiegogo back in 2019, which turned out to be successful from a crowdfunding standpoint, but people were disappointed with the response after the campaign. Gravastar was dealing with a lot of shipping issues. They even said that they were too tired with the backlog of shipping these units worldwide. Clearly, they didn't think this through when they were designing the campaign. So that was really unfortunate. I really hope that they've addressed every backer to date, because that certainly sounds like a red flag. Fast forward to 2021, and they're still pumping out some cool stuff like this Sirius Pro wireless earbuds that once again blew my mind with the design. I mean, just look at this thing. The case has a built-in bottle opener, RGB lighting, a rugged design, Bluetooth 5.2. I mean, where does it go from here? Anyways, coming back to the Mars Pro, this is actually a step above the original Mars, and what I have over here is the Shark 14 Special Edition. Now, if you're looking for something that's a little bit toned down, they do offer a matte black and white model. Personally, I would rock the war-damaged yellow version because something about that color and just the design of the speaker complements each other really well. That being said, the Shark 14 is no joke. I mean, this 3-legged robotic structure looks like it's ready to engage in a mission or something. The main shell is made out of zinc alloy, which does a few things. First, it gives the unit a rugged feel, protecting it from external damage if you happen to drop this, which I hope you don't. So it's not made out of plastic. And the second benefit is that it allows the sound to resonate within the body, resulting in fewer vibrations when you place this thing on a surface, like a table, for instance. Now, out of the box, it does come with some accessories to attach to the body. Unfortunately, my sample didn't come with a manual, so I was kind of left scratching my head trying to assemble this thing with the accessories. I tried to look on the website, but that was pretty useless, and then I found a YouTube video where it just walked me through the whole process. Now, one thing I want to mention is the weight of the speaker, because it's over 7 pounds, and for its size, it's certainly on the heavier side. Now, you could bring it down if you decide to eliminate all the accessories, but that kind of takes away from the fun factor of the Mars Pro. I'm honestly surprised with the build quality of the speaker. It can certainly handle some abuse, although I can't say the same thing for the accessories because they're mostly made out of plastic, and I did end up breaking one of the pieces from the barrel, so keep an eye out for that if you plan on getting the special edition. Now, the 3 legs are used to support the main structure, and you can actually use this to adjust the height. It's very easy to manipulate, and you can come up with some interesting poses. Overall, I've got to say, I'm really blown away by the attention to detail with the exterior design of the Mars Pro. Everything from the red accents to the damaging marks on the shield and front-facing cover for the tweeter to the labeling around the shell and the rugged patterns on the legs is totally giving me Star Wars vibe. Gravastar certainly deserves a standing O for this masterpiece. The volume controls are located at the top of the shell and they're touch sensitive. It's actually integrated really well. All you have to do is tap and slide your finger up and down to adjust the volume. There are LED indicators to guide you through that process, which is a nice touch. Another bling to spice up the speaker is the inclusion of RGB lighting, and in my opinion, it's another factor that's implemented really well. The front-facing speaker has these light strips shaped aggressively along with ambient lighting behind the speaker grille. The legs also have a touch of lighting as well, and the diffusion across these light bars is absolutely gorgeous and consistent. To be honest, it actually looks better in person than the product photos on their website. You can actually control the lighting through the dedicated button located at the top, right beside the volume control. There's no app or remote control to customize the speaker, so all you have to do is long press and it'll either enable or disable the lighting system. Single press essentially cycles between different colors, which only 6 of them are available, in static mode that is. And if you double press, it switches between breathing or color shift mode. Now, right next to that is the power button along with the play pause feature when you single press. Next to that is the Bluetooth button, which will let you pair the speaker with any device. Keep in mind that you can only pair up to one device at a time. Interestingly, this speaker comes with TWS support, which stands for True Wireless Audio. Now, this allows the user to pair another Mars Pro to create a stereo setup. And that's a nice feature to have if you plan on expanding your soundstage within your space. For example, if you want to have 2 of these on your desk setup, you can control them using a single device, whether if it's a smartphone or a laptop. As for inputs, well, there's only one USB-C port located at the bottom that's used for charging up the speaker while also functioning as an aux port. They do include Type-C to Type-A and Type-C to 3.5mm cables. Then again, most smartphones don't come with a headphone jack, so you're most likely going to use this with Bluetooth mode. Keep in mind that they don't include the power adapter, so you'll have to get that separately, and they're recommending 5-volt 2-amp power supplies. There is a charging base that can be purchased separately, which looks even cooler. It's an all-plastic base with some RGB lighting, and I think that would really complete this unique setup. Also, the built-in battery is supposed to last for about 15 hours, which seems to be accurate from my casual listening experience, even with the RGB lights turned on, so that's great. There is an indicator at the back that strobes when the battery status is low. Keep in mind that the speaker turns off itself after about 10 minutes when it's idle, and that is done to preserve battery life. Now, personally, I would have preferred more inputs, like being able to connect 2 of them in stereo mode without having to rely on TWS, while simultaneously powering them without relying on battery power as well. But maybe I'm asking for too much for Bluetooth speakers. So by now, you've probably seen all the features that the Mars Pro offers, mostly from a visual standpoint. And for a speaker by itself, it's a lot. But how does it actually sound? Well, that's another home run for these guys. You see, at the front, there's a 1-inch tweeter, and at the back, there's a 2.5-inch full-range speaker, and it boasts a maximum 20-watt output. And the end result is a good fusion of warm tones with trebles and responsive but medium bass output. Now, it's not super deep, but if you're listening to music that emphasizes on the vocals, they exhibit a crisp and clear nature, while the bass adds a nice punch to the overall soundstage. To be honest, the Mars Pro blew my expectations because it gets really loud to a point where I couldn't hear myself at max volume, and it didn't exhibit any sorts of distortion at that level. Another thing I want to mention is that this speaker sounds the best within close proximity. I wouldn't recommend anything beyond 300 square feet. Anything bigger than that, and you'll actually start to experience or compromise on the bass response. This ultimately depends on where you position the speaker, because this is by no means a 360-degree surround experience. It's really meant to be tucked away in a corner, but also be admired because of how, once again, how cool it looks. All right, so this is a sound test on the Mars Pro. Let's check it out. Now, the last thing I want to mention is the price of the Mars Pro, because I left it at the end for a reason. I'll get to that in a bit. The base model starts at $230, and the Shark 14 Special Edition that I have over here will run you about $350 US. And that's a lot of money for a Bluetooth speaker. I mean, you can buy an excellent and powerful soundbar for that price to complement your entertainment setup. But you see, this is something that you'll not be able to find on store shelves at your local electronics store. And it's certainly not something that appeals to the general consumer market. From the outside, it clearly doesn't look like a traditional Bluetooth speaker. But instead, that feature, which it does really well, is disguised in this cool, futuristic, space-aged robotic shell that I believe is an amazing addition to a gaming setup, or even your living room or garden, where it sparks an interesting conversation with your neighbors. You're really paying for the fun factor, and if you're looking for something like that, there's nothing better than the Mars Pro that I can recommend, because I just can't take my eyes off of this. So on that note, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this one. Let me know what you guys think about the Mars Pro from Gravastar. Do you find this thing really cool, and would you actually consider getting one of these just to create conversations with your friends and family, or just have this as a cool addition to your space? I'm really curious to know about your thoughts. Thank you so much for watching. I'll leave links down below if you're interested in picking one up. And I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Look at how cool this is. I mean, I don't know if I would take this outside though, because I'm definitely going to get the looks. I'm going to get a lot of stares. I'm going to be like, is this guy coming out with a robot that's trying to conquer the universe? I wish this thing moved, but maybe the next product would be able to do that from Gravastar. So we're getting somewhere.